EU and the UK announced coordinated sanctions against Russia over cyber attacks across Europe, while Russia's ambassadors to Germany and France are being summoned in protest.
European Commission President has called for stronger protections for children online, supporting introducing a minimum age for access to social media.
New Zealand actor Sam Neill, best known for his roles in the Jurassic Park movies and The Piano, has died aged 78.
The European Union and the United Kingdom announced coordinated sanctions against Russia on Monday for carrying out cyber attacks. The latest sanctions are the result of targeting Poland's energy grid and orchestrating a wider campaign across Europe stretching back years. On the same day, Germany had summoned Russia's ambassador in protests, and France will follow suit.
Nous convoquerons l'ambassadeur de Russie en France dans les prochains jours, mais que nous allons également prendre des sanctions à l'encontre de 9 individus et de 4 entités responsables de cette campagne de cyber qui a été orchestrée par le FSB, le bureau de sécurité, le service de sécurité fédéral de la Russie.
The joint measures are targeting individuals and organizations linked to Russia's security services, as Britain added 24 new names, calling the attempts increasingly reckless and aimed at sowing chaos and division across Europe. The EU said that the attacks spanned countries including Cyprus, the Netherlands, Austria, Slovakia, Romania and Finland. Attributed to the FSB's Center 16 intelligence unit, the December 2025 attack on the Polish electricity grid failed but could have caused 500,000 citizens to lose electricity in the depths of winter, the Foreign Office in London said. The Foreign Office also added that Russia is using cyber criminal networks to do its dirty work, a claim that Moscow denies.
European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has called for stronger protections for children online, saying the evidence presented on Monday by the Special Panel on Child Safety Online should help shape future European policy. Von der Leyen said the evidence increasingly supported introducing a minimum age for access to social media and suggested a phased approach for different age groups. She said the argument to ban toddlers from screens and digital platforms and that children under 13 should only be allowed to use social media under adult supervision was the most convincing. Social media is not a toy, von der Leyen stressed.
The status quo, a world where we continue to allow big tech unrestricted access to our children, will only consign another generation to more mental harm, addiction and misery.
According to data from the research, young people spend between 4 and 6 hours a day on screens, while almost 60% of young children have experienced emotional or psychosocial problems online. Von der Leyen also argued that technology companies, rather than parents or children, should bear responsibility for making online platforms safe, as they have a duty of care to their users. The report identified services that contain age-inappropriate features, such as infinite scrolling, autoplay and persistent notifications, describing them as social media plus.
Auf der Basis der vorliegenden Evidenz empfehlen wir deshalb die EU-weite harmonisierte Einführung einer Zugangsbeschränkung zu Social Media Plus für Kinder unter 13 Jahren.
The Commission will review the panel's recommendations before presenting legislative proposals after the summer.
The U.S. military launched a new wave of strikes across Iran overnight on Monday, as a fresh flare-up of hostilities continues to undermine an interim agreement between Washington and Tehran aimed at ending their war. The latest salvo by U.S. forces began on Sunday night, Central Command said on X, adding that dozens of targets were hit, including Iranian military air defense systems, coastal radar sites, missile and drone capabilities, and small boats. Iranian state media reported U.S. strikes targeting large areas across southern and western Iran, as well as the islands of Qeshm and Farur in the Gulf. It reported that 1 person was killed and 4 were wounded in the latest attacks. Iran retaliated with fresh strikes on Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan, state media added. On Sunday, Kuwait said 3 of its land border posts in the north were damaged, while air raid sirens sounded in Bahrain into Monday morning. The renewed fighting followed an Iranian attack early on Sunday on a commercial ship in the Strait of Hormuz, after which Iran's Revolutionary Guards announced it would again be closing the vital waterway that has been at the center of the latest flare-up. Firefighters were rushing to contain a fire that erupted in the sprawling Fontainebleau forest just south of Paris on Sunday. Early on Monday, officials partially closed the A6 highway, France's main north-south artery, after firefighting aircraft had been forced to suspend their operations with nightfall. The fire, which started on Sunday afternoon, has already burned 800 hectares and is still spreading. Around 15 homes had been evacuated in the nearby village of Vaudoué, and firefighters were defending several other towns in the area.
Alors ce feu il est particulièrement complexe à combattre, d'abord de par le vent qui le pousse dans un massif forestier qui est très rocailleux, très complexe d'accès, même si on a des pistes un peu partout qui permettent aux touristes de s'y promener. Les véhicules de sapeurs-pompiers ont beaucoup de mal à rentrer dans le massif et à pouvoir se déplacer. Et enfin le fait qu'on ait une forte présence de rochers avec un dénivelé dans la forêt fait que les pompiers ont du mal à établir les tuyaux avec une végétation qui est très dense et très sèche également en ce milieu de canicule rouge depuis quelques jours et quelques semaines déjà.
2 firefighting planes alongside 400 firefighters were deployed to contain the flames, which erupted just ahead of the 14th July national holiday and on the first major weekend for departures for the summer holiday season.
The death toll from the devastating twin earthquakes that struck Venezuela almost 20 days ago rose to nearly 4,500 on Sunday. The government reported more than 19,500 people were living in camps due to the destruction. At the end of June, 2 earthquakes with a magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 struck Caracas in the coastal state of La Guaira. The quakes destroyed or completely flattened entire high-rise apartment buildings, leaving many displaced and without a home. The government said it would start providing some apartments to families in the coming days that were under construction before the quake, but said that significant resources will be needed to build more and provide rental and property assistance. Meanwhile, many Venezuelans continue to search for relatives buried under the rubble. While more and more machinery has become available to help the search and rescue efforts, many argue that there is still insufficient government assistance for families searching for bodies.
As wars and trade tensions reshape global markets, Europe's food security is once again under pressure. The conflict involving Iran has sent fertilizer prices climbing, raising fresh concerns for farmers and consumers alike. It is against this backdrop that the EU agriculture ministers are meeting in Brussels on Monday. Speaking to Euronews programme Europe Today, the Irish minister said that the sector is concerned, but that it has a role to play.
Food security and those vulnerabilities in Europe are to the forefront of everybody's mind now in terms of where we get our core ingredients from. So in terms of the Irish presidency of the EU for the next 6 months, we have 3 overarching priorities of competitiveness, values and security. And from my perspective, chairing the Agri-Fish Council for the next 6 months, security and food security and the contribution of our farmers and our fishermen and women all over Europe is not in conflict with other elements of the security debate, but is an integral part of it.
Ministers are to decide on the European Commission's Fertilizer Action Plan. For Hayden, this is a decisive and swift action to support farmers with these significant input costs and recognizing the pressures there are on food production from these price shocks.
New Zealand actor Sam Neill, best known for his roles in the Jurassic Park movies and The Piano, has died aged 78. In 2023, the actor revealed he had been diagnosed with an aggressive type of blood cancer. In April of this year, however, he said he was cancer-free after undergoing immunotherapy treatment. Neill's family wrote in a statement that the loss was sudden and unexpected and clarified that cancer was not the cause of his passing. Neill was a national treasure for the country. New Zealand Prime Minister Christopher Luxon described him as one of the greats. The New Zealand actor was also regarded as an honorary Australian by many due to his connections to the country. Neill gained international fame for his role as Dr. Alan Grant in Jurassic Park. He also starred in The Piano, which premiered at the Cannes Film Festival where it won the Palme d'Or. before earning other awards, including 3 Academy Awards.
La verdad es que sí es una inversión bastante fuerte comprar las estampitas y entonces creo que poder estar con muchísimas personas que tenemos el mismo fin, creo que reduce la parte económica, también propicia pasar un momento en familia y sobre todo pues a poder llenar el álbum, ¿no? Que es lo principal.
O sea que es un éxito, es algo que rompe récord y que formes parte de eso, pues es algo especial.
Pues disfrutar, si se llena, si no se llena, ya es muy aparte, la verdad, disfrutar la convivencia, disfrutar las actividades y el ambiente.